Well, hello there and welcome to this video on formatting in Microsoft Excel. As you can see, we've got some data here and it's basically just raw data. It's just in raw format, as you've probably seen before. So what I'm going to do is just demonstrate the different sort of formatting features in Excel by formatting this data up so it's a lot more readable, a lot more usable. So let's get started. I think probably the first thing to do here, if we click on this little triangle in the top left, we can select the whole sheet, and then if we click on the right hand margin of the first column, well, double click in fact, we can expand the columns to fit the data that's in them. It'll just do that automatically. That immediately makes it a lot more readable. Another thing we can do, highlight these cells here that are the column headers, and then on the Home tab just click the bold icon, and that will make them bold, make them stand out a bit better. And then perhaps we can highlight them just to make it clear that they are the column headings. So put a highlight on there. Another thing we can do is let's put some borders around them. If we scroll down, if we select A1, we select the top left of the range that we want, scroll down right to the bottom of the data, and then select F145 there, so we've selected the full range. We can now either click up here on the border icon, and we can apply all these different types of borders, or we can right click on the range we've selected and use the format cells feature, where we can basically do all sorts of formatting, and I'll be using this quite a lot just because all the sort of basic formatting stuff is in this one place. So now we've got that area selected, click on border. You can see in here we get a lot more control than we do with just clicking on the icon. We can change the style of the border, the thickness of the lines. We can change the color here, and we can go for presets, or we can apply individual lines. So we click that, we get an outline. So that will put an outline around the whole area we have selected. So click OK there. You can see it's now put an outline around the area selected, rather than around each individual cell. So let's go back in, and if we wanted it around each individual cell and around the outside, we can click that, and we can that inside and outside, and then we can add or remove individual elements. That's back to an outside border. We can add in diagonal lines if we want to, and lines in the cells within the range we've got selected. So if we just go for that kind of format for now, click OK, and you see now all the cells have borders around them. If we scroll back up, see the header looks a lot better. So the next thing we might want to do is make it slightly easier to read, because currently if we scroll down we lose the column headings. So we want to have the column headings stay static up there while we scroll down. So we can click on row 2 here and go to view. As you can see here, we've got freeze panes, which basically lets you freeze a portion of the sheet. So we can click freeze panes from the menu that drops down, or we can, which would basically freeze everywhere sort of north of what we've got selected. So that would freeze the top row, but there's also an option to freeze the top row or to freeze the first column. So if we just freeze the top row there, now you'll see as we scroll down, we keep the column headings. So now that's done, Let's have a look at the formats here. So if we look in column F, we've got a lot of kind of, unclear data here. There's no formatting to it. It's supposed to be currency, it's supposed to be dollars, but some of the numbers have got kind of one number after the decimal place, some of them have got none, some of them are negatives. There's no commas separating the thousands. So if we format that by right clicking and going into format cells again, and then clicking on number. Now this tab has many formats. You've got kind of everything from general, which is just basically a raw format, just basically as it came, down through various different options down to custom. What we're going to look at is these three here: the number, the currency, and the accounting. Basically, number will just give you numbers. Currency will give you numbers effectively with a currency symbol at the start, and accounting will format it for accounting, so it will put the currency symbol on the left and justify it, and so on and so forth. What I'm going to use here is just the number format, and you can see, pick the decimal places here, just leave it at 2. We'll click to use the thousand separator, and we can also select what we want the negative numbers to look like. So if we just select this one just to make the negative numbers stand out a bit more, they'll be in red. So then we can click OK, and you'll notice that this is now a lot more readable. It's a lot more justified. It's lined up. You've got the same number of decimal places. You've got the thousand separators in there, so it's much more readable than it was before. So the next thing we might want to do is just on this title section again. It's kind of slightly untidy. Let's see if we can just line it up a bit better, and of course we can make it bigger to make it stand out more. But we can also change the alignment, because obviously you can see here that text aligns to the left but numbers align to the right. So if we were to, for example, equalize the size of these columns just to make it a bit more tidy, a bit neater, we just do that by highlighting a range of columns and changing the width of one, and it will change the width of all of those that are highlighted. You'll see now the label is on the left and the data is on the right here, and the same in column F. So to make that look a bit better, if we highlight that row there, we can go up here, and as you can see there's various different icons here, well 6 of them, for different types of alignment. So let's say we'll go with a center alignment, and this is the horizontal alignment. So that's now centralized those column headers. But we can also do the vertical alignment, which is here, which will centralize them vertically. Makes them look a lot neater. So after that, perhaps we want to sort the data in some way, other than the order it came in. So this is currently sorted by name of carrier, name of airline. Perhaps instead of that, we want to sort it by operating profit. So if we just click here, it's F2, basically the top of the range of data that we want to sort. We can then, if we right click, go to the sort submenu here. There's various options for sorting. In this instance, I'm just going to sort the largest to the smallest, but you can see there's also options for sorting by color and by font and by cell icon, and the custom sort, which is gets a bit more complicated. So I'll go into that in another video. So if we just click smallest to largest, largest to smallest, you can now see that the highest numbers on top, and if we scroll down, you can see the negative numbers are all at the bottom. So that's now an ordered list by operating profit there. So the next thing we might want to do, just to make it more usable, is if we select the top line here, we can click on sort and filter, and as you can see, there's the same or similar options to the sort menu, but what we want to do here is filter. And if we just click filter, we get these little arrows appear in the bottom right hand corner of each of the cells we had highlighted, and these basically allow us to auto filter. So we can, for example, here click on the carrier, and this will bring up a list of all of the carriers that are featured in here. Obviously there's various occurrences of each one, so if we just unselect all and then click on, let's say, American Airlines, and click OK, that's now filtered that list just to show American Airlines. We can do it for more than one selection, so we can click Federal Express as well, and we can do it for more than one column, so we could click on quarter here and just see the quarter 3 results. So yeah, that makes things a lot easier in terms of viewing the data for anybody that you might be sending it to, or for any consumer of it. Yeah, so possibly the next thing we might do, and the final thing we might do, is just go down here and add a total. So bottom of column F, click into the cell below the bottom of the range of data that we want to sum, and a very easy thing to do in Microsoft Excel is just click this button up here, the auto sum, and that will put a formula in the cell that will just look above it and basically add together all of the numbers it finds in a direct line above itself. And if we just press enter, and there's our total, and we can put in here a label, and then we can just go in and put in a border, maybe make that bold, and we can use the fill there to give it a color. So now that's a list that's got a total and is sorted and is looking good and nice and readable and usable for further use. So yeah, that's the basics of formatting in Microsoft Excel. So we have various other videos that go into these different things in more depth, so do a search for them if you need more information. And yeah, thanks for watching.